Doing tonight. Let me get our stream started here because I don't like looking at myself. And it's easier if I can see what people comment on. We'll get our Instagram feed going. See how it's doing. Thanks for tuning in. If you have a few minutes on a Friday night, we just got back from dinner with the whole family, which was fun. It actually went pretty well. So I'm just gonna mix up a quick drink here, and yeah, just kind of see how things are going. Talk about a few things, and feel free to ask questions. Like to interact and answer anything I can. So the drink I'm mixing up right now tonight is a drink that I kind of made up. And I won't do the full recipe tonight, but I will kind of you'll see what's in it, but then I'll do actually a full-on video with it. So it's a bit of a spin on a last word. So it kind of has all the ingredients of a last word, minus some of the cool stuff. So the first thing, this drink actually is a room temp drink. I made this initially, officially I did this way initially, and then I actually did it another way. I made it on ice, and I also made it at room temp, and it's much better room temp because it's some of like the aroma is very like subtle. So you kind of, when it's colder, it kind of damps that down a little bit. So we got to keep it nice room temperature. No dilution, so it's a strong drink. So I'm actually gonna mix everything right in the middle of my glass, and so you probably can't see it that well. Putting on video, I've got to play with it some more. But I'm gonna do, a little bit of gin. Like I said, we'll do an official video here soon, where we actually go through and like walk through this whole thing. See, we've got some people watching Instagram. Jennifer, thank you. Huge fan, I know. Now, of course, last word has maraschino in it as well as gin. So this, I'm doing a dash. I need a little bit of flavor and a little bit of sweetness, just for some mouthfeel. Now, the chartreuse component of the last word, of course, remember, is an equal parts cocktail. I'm not using chartreuse. I'm using this stuff, which is basically chartreuse on steroids. And it's super cool. It's amazing stuff. And it's kind of like a dasher. So I'm going to do like a few dashes of this, maybe 4 or 5, just to kind of get the flavors. Like I said, we'll do an official video where I kind of walk through this stuff a little bit more officially, I suppose is the right word. And then lime juice, obviously, is the last word. Now for the lime component, I want to do a big old nice lime peel. That means I want like the whole peel on this thing. A lot of oil, a lot of flavor, a lot of goodness. Lime peels are a lot different than lemon peels. They just don't have nearly as much oil in them. So kind of takes a lot to kind of get the feeling I want here, and the flavor and the aroma from the oils of the lime. And then when you're all done, you want to twist this up, and it makes your fingers smell amazingly limey. You get a nice big pull like that. You drape over the drink. Give it a quick stir, just to kind of get the flavors mixed up. It doesn't take much because there's no ice and nothing like that. And then it's a very small drink, but it has some awesome flavors to it, and I really love it. And it's really easy to make, which is a huge plus. And so it's just one of those things where it's a nice drink. So yeah, I'll make it officially. So in terms of what's going on tonight, we're kind of wrapping up into the week. One question I had, or was hoping to discuss in terms of cocktails, that kind of stuff, is basically how do you, I have kids, I have 2 kids. They're amazing. But they still are, kids. So for those of you who have kids, do you like to make cocktails in the middle of all the chaos, or do you prefer to make them when they're actually like to bed or, kind of watching a movie when you have some time? And so I really prefer to make it when I have a little bit of time and it's not total chaos, which just makes it a little bit easier for me to kind of, I guess, enjoy the process of making a drink. My wife is a little bit the opposite way in terms of she just doesn't need to have like kind of like that quietness to it in terms of kind of relaxing. And so it's interesting for me to be able to kind of like, but the problem with my method is that often kids don't go to bed till late at night, or there's always something going on, and so I often don't make cocktails all that often at night, just because it's one of those things where I'm busy doing stuff, house stuff, kid stuff, everything else, and sometimes cocktails fall to the wayside, which it happens. But yeah, I'd love to know what your guys' methods out there for you, those of you with busy lives, kids, everything else. How do you integrate home bartending into your life of everything happening? Which is it's a tough thing, I think, sometimes. One of the reasons why I think our show has taken so long to kind of get going again and getting back up to speed is just trying to like integrate everything into your life. And while cocktails are great, I don't have as much time as somebody without kids or jobs or all that kind of stuff. So maybe that's a poor excuse, but I'm going with it. But tonight I have a rare moment for bedtime, so I want to jump on. Thanks for everybody watching. We have another Brian who is watching, and wait till I go to bed, post 9:30. Yeah, I'm kind of with you, man. That's kind of about what I am. My problem I have is that if I drink alcohol too close to bedtime, I just don't sleep that well. So I'm kind of in this like sweet spot. Like ideally, I would have a drink around like 7, have one or two, and then just kind of let it wear off, and then go to bed and sleep peacefully. But like I said, we can't always kind of get what we want, so we've got to make adjustments in terms of everything else. So yeah, I mean, Brian, I'm kind of there with you. You have a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 3-year-old. So having 2 is definitely like tougher than 1. I mean, I will say that, like, hands down. I believe that having 2 it takes another level of organization and planning and everything else, and maybe like more cocktails to work through it. But the kids are super fun. I don't know how everybody else's kids are. Our kids are well versed in the world of cocktails. They actually drink really well for a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. My kids are like super into kombucha, which I like kombucha. I don't love it, but I like kombucha. They are super into it. They just drink this stuff like it's water. They love licking lemons and limes. And I don't know if this is just like random kid behavior or because they are around cocktails a lot. But yeah, so it's kind of one of those fun things. And so yeah, they definitely like some odd stuff, but they do drink well. Ginger beer, guava soda, all kinds of crazy stuff that we use in cocktails, which is kind of fun. My kids are particularly into tiki drinks, which my wife and I make a lot of tiki. We haven't made a lot of tiki drinks on Better Cocktails at home. In the past, one of the reasons is our set setup and where it was located and everything else. And so with our new set building out, I think we have a lot more in terms of ability to make tiki drinks. We have a much better setup for it. So we're doing a lot more tiki drinks. Like I said, my kids love it. They are super into them, and I am too. Like, they're super fun to make. They taste really good. Our 3-year-old screams for tiki mugs all the time, which maybe that's normal. Maybe that's just a thing in our household. I'm not totally sure. But that's actually like a really good gift for parents out there with kids. If you ever go on trips and you go to a tiki bar, like buy your kids like the house tiki mugs, and I think they really like them. Do you like them? I'm getting a nod that they really do like them. So it's a great present for parents wanting to get something for their kids. Get them a tiki mug, and heck, maybe in like 50 years they'll still have it and they'll appreciate it. But we'll see. But yeah, so I mean, I think one of the things that for me, home bartending is trying to integrate it with home life and being at home. I think that's one of the things that I've always not struggled with, but just a lot of the cocktail books, they're very kind of like they don't really take that into account. A lot of bartenders, I think, in my experience that I have met, don't have kids. It seems like the most of them. So like a lot of the cocktail books are written by bartenders. And I think when there's this big trend for all these like fancy ingredients and everything else, I was just kind of like, I totally like, this does not work. This does not integrate with my life at all. Which is why on our show, I kind of always try to keep it really simple ingredients, stuff you can buy, just to try to integrate it better with our lives. I don't have tons of extra time to make syrups or infusions or that kind of stuff. So there's some good techniques that kind of speed it up, which is cool. Maybe we'll kind of explore those on our new show as we start going. But yeah, so that's one of the things I like to try to explore a little bit, and hopefully make connections with other home bartenders. How do you integrate home bartending into your life? Like hopefully, I want to kind of take it to the next level of the discussion out there. It's so focused on terms of like cocktails, right? Like just making the cocktail itself. But I mean, I think there's a lot of nuance to this discussion in terms of like, say you do have kids, like what do you teach them? How do you teach them now? Like, what do you teach them about cocktails, that kind of thing? So it's hopefully I want to do some more of that stuff. Hopefully through these live streams, we'll just make some of those discussions. Maybe we'll have some people on. Another comment from Brian. Kids cocktail, yes. We make a lot of kids cocktails. Maybe I should do an entire series on like virgin drinks, because I also make a lot for my kids. Like, so they drink pretty well, and I've actually come up with some like really tasty stuff. They're most often they're like tiki derived. In my experience, I don't know if Brian, you've come up with other stuff, but I also see like to throw some bitters in. I do too. I think that their content is so small, it's like hurt anybody, and it has a lot of flavor. So I'm right there with you on that one. But yeah, a lot of my like drinks are kind of tiki based in terms of the flavors and syrups, because there's a lot to work with there in making virgin drinks. So, but yeah, it's something that my kids ask for cocktails all the time. But I think it's an interesting discussion is how do you have those discussions? And even my viewers with like teenagers, I don't have. I'd love to hear how you navigate that. So it's an interesting thing that like isn't talked about that I've seen. So hopefully we'll be able to kind of do some of those things in terms of discussion, get to it. Another question about making cocktails at parties or for friends. I only make drinks for parties or friends if I'm asked to, basically. I don't, because some people like spend a lot of time planning stuff. I don't want to come in and I'm happy drinking whatever, so it's kind of, if they ask me, which sometimes they do, I'm happy to kind of participate and do that, but not always, which is kind of nice. Sometimes it's fun to just show up and have a glass of wine or just have a soda or everything else, so I'm down with that. But yeah, since we've had our home bar open like it's public, but since we finished our home bar, we've had a few parties already, just to kind of show it off a little bit, kind of help some parties for some people who help build it for us, just to kind of like private stuff. So yeah, they're going really well, and I kind of keep learning about our setup as we host parties. One of the things that I don't have in here is I don't have a fridge or a freezer, so ice is an issue, chilling glassware, that kind of stuff. But I'm kind of slowly integrating in. So I found that I've been using a little kind of red igloo cooler, like a really small one. And it's not very attractive right now, but I'm actually going to build a wood box around it to frame it in, so it's going to look really nice, match everything, and I'll have it like my ice bin. So there's a few things I'm kind of slowly learning. Bottle organization is totally all over the map still. I've actually not organized this at all. And so like half the time I'm staring right at the bottle I need and I don't even see it. But I think over time we'll kind of start to do that. So we asked about the cocktail I made tonight. This is a last word derivative cocktail. I'm not going to tell you the name of it yet because I'm actually going to do a full-on episode about this drink, but just know that it's a last word derivative, has kind of all the components of a last word, but it's actually a stirred room temperature cocktail. So we'll be filming this soon and get the full lowdown and all the details, everything else. But I just want to make something simple tonight, so we kind of focus on live streaming because it's kind of new to me. I've always done kind of film stuff as you've watched our episodes. So kind of integrating in how I'm doing live streaming, cocktails, that kind of stuff. So yeah, everything we're kind of learning still, and it's been really interesting. I mean, I know we've done over 100 videos on YouTube before. And then we kind of had this pause, and it feels very like kind of like riding a bike. Like we're sort of kind of remember like, oh yeah, that's what it was like. But then at the same time, it's also like very different and trying to like relearn everything we used to do. We had a very like good process down. It was very like, this is the process, boom, 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 this is how it worked. And now we're kind of having to like redo that entire thing. And so it's a little bit of a learning curve for us again. And I want to get we've got some new equipment we're integrating in. I want to get some new video equipment also to kind of make it better. So yeah, we're getting there, and it's coming along. You know, everything is slow, but again, if I could work on this 6 hours a day, that'd be sweet. We'd be there already, but I can't, unfortunately. But I do appreciate everybody who watches our show. All the people on Instagram, everybody on YouTube. YouTube is like where we started, and YouTube is like, to me, that's the coolest place, because we can really, I think, produce a product out there that's, when we started, there wasn't really much out there in terms of what we were doing. And so I think now there's a few more people out there doing it, which is awesome. I'm glad to see that. So I think I'm ready to take it to like next level, get into some things that aren't just making cocktails, but kind of more about like the culture of cocktails and culture of home bars. Because I feel like home bartending is kind of like on this like cusp of kind of exploding. I think more people are, you know, for the last decade or so, it's all been about like good cocktails and bars. And I think people are finally realizing, okay, like I can do some of that at home too. And it's really easy. You know, it takes a little bit of knowledge, but not a lot, honestly. And so, yeah, so it's kind of one of those things where hopefully we kind of get more into home bartending and some nuances of that, some strategies and how we can be better hosts, that kind of thing. Some stuff I've learned over the years. So we have to talk about spritz right now. So I haven't gotten into like summer cocktails yet. In the Pacific Northwest of the United States. And so it's kind of slowly getting into summer and warmer enough here, but a spritz, anything like a low proof cocktail seems good to me. I love low proof cocktails. I want to fill more of them. But yeah, there's nothing like a low proof cocktail in the afternoon. That's kind of like hits the spot every time, and it's just perfect. But yeah, so I'm excited. We're going to do a lot of drinks. We're going to, do a lot of new stuff we haven't done before, and the bar is obviously, it's a really cool space, and we're going to be filming, actually releasing our kind of bar tour video in the next hopefully week here or so. We're just trying to finish filming and editing it, but yeah, I want to tell you kind of all about it and kind of show it off in a really cool way. I'm a big fan of Wes Anderson films, and so it'll kind of be in the style of a scene from one of his films. So bonus points to anybody who actually gets the reference, and hopefully it's a good enough copy that it will be obvious what the reference is. But for you Wes Anderson fans, you should get it pretty quick. What's everybody drinking tonight? I'd love to know if you've got a cocktail in hand, what you make, or what you made last night or something like that. I made a couple drinks last night, I think. Yes, one was I actually made it Hemingway daiquiri with actually authentic Cuban rum. It was actually very nice. I made another drink from the Sasha Petrovsky book, the regarding cocktails. It was called Debbie Don't. It was a little sweet for me. I would have like tiled down the maple a little bit, but it was really tasty, really cool. Yes, I'm with you, Brian. It's the Bryans. I got to go on the Prohibition drinks, kind of like spirit forward stuff. I love those. Those are a little more like a winter thing for me, so I kind of come out of them a bit in the summer. But so you're drinking a Sidecar. Sidecar is a classic. That was actually the first drink I really kind of like tasted that I felt like, wow, this is really interesting. It was kind of like a steakhouse place. Or no, actually, no, it wasn't the steakhouse. I think it was a melting pot, like a fondue place. And I think I used like mixed taco, like Greek brandy or something, but I was like, actually, this is really good. And so like this, yeah, Sidecar has always kind of like held a special place for me. And then if you want to see a really crappy video we did, it was like one of the first ones we did. I think it was the first or second video we did was a Sidecar. You should go back a long time ago when we made it on our channel, and you can see it and watch it. It's very dark. Our lighting wasn't very good at that point, but yeah, so it's always, I love that drink. I just made one for the first time in maybe like a week or so ago or 2 weeks ago, because I didn't have any like Mixin cognac for a long time. And so then I finally got some 1840, which is kind of like my house cognac I mix with. It's got the proof to stat. I think cognac can kind of lay down in drinks a little too much sometimes. So I think the 1840 has enough proof and oomph behind it to kind of stand up. So that's kind of like the one I use most typically. And I just hadn't had it for a while, so I stocked up again. But how do you think, Brian? Brian's are good people. So yeah, so I don't know if you guys have good plans this weekend, but hopefully we're gonna do some Mother's Day cocktails. I don't know if are your spouses into cocktails, or is it a one thing? Luckily, we both like cocktails. But I can imagine there's some couples where one just doesn't do it and one does, but it's another thing. Yeah, so I think I don't salt. There's no sugar in the rim. I don't sugar my sidecar rims. It's just when I started in cocktail, I started probably 2008, so about a decade now. I was more sweet, and then I definitely have skewed tartar and sour over time. So I'm pretty judicious with the sugars and syrups I put in drinks. I think it's one of those things where I think it comes down to just personal preference. And I think that's one of the things I kind of learned over time is that, making cocktails, it's kind of here's a recipe. This isn't the be all end all. It's kind of this is the drink, this is the essence of it. But within that, you can tailor it to your own taste buds and everything else. So sometimes I think I make my drinks a little bit probably too tart for some people. But that's just kind of my style. It's the way I like it, which, if I'm making a drink for me, that's awesome. If I make it somebody else, I want to kind of tailor it to what they like. So I'll ask them, do you like kind of on the sweeter side or not? And kind of go from there. Let's see, Brian, your wife. Just a few basic cocktails. Well, you gotta, at least she likes a couple good ones. You just gotta work on her. But, if she doesn't, that's cool too. I think that's one of the things that I've learned is that just because you like something doesn't mean your spouse has to, and vice versa. And, if you guys can go and have a good time and one of you drinks a cocktail, one of you drinks wine, that's fantastic. Or one of you doesn't drink at all, also fantastic. But yeah, I think there's definitely something nice about going out with your spouse, sharing a nice cocktail, which we're going to do tomorrow night, actually. So we got a babysitter coming, which is going to be super fun. We're going to see a movie called Tully. It's about, I think, something to do with a mom who has kids, young kids, and just dealing with life. So I feel like we associate with that. So we're going to try it, but we're going to hit up a tiki bar before we go to the movie, which will be great. Have a strong drink or two, go to the movie, sit there, and hopefully try not to fall asleep. One in dark theater, which I never used to have that problem, but now I do have that problem. So hopefully I'll be wide awake. But yeah, let me know what you guys are making up this weekend and what kind of new bottles you've got in. We kind of haven't added a ton of new bottles lately to our collection, a few here and there, but I'm trying to collapse everything into our bar. I've still got some overflow outside of our bar right now, and so I could hold about 90 bottles or so. So I'm trying to reduce some bottles and trying to fit it all in here as best as I can. I figure 90 bottles is enough for a home bar. That should be enough to kind of do everything. So yeah, we're kind of working on it slowly, but we're getting there. And I'm really loving what we built, and I think it's going to really facilitate an awesome show. We're still playing with the video and how we're going to film everything in the style, but I think once we kind of get up and running, it's going to be super high quality and super great. I'm super excited to kind of share with everybody and start making drinks again. I've been itching to make drinks. I've been making cocktails, but just on video, because it's so great to see everybody's comments as they kind of, honestly, a lot of people have bad experiences with YouTube in terms of stuff and comments and, that kind of stuff. I think we have such a niche thing here that we've kind of grown it into, is that I've never experienced that at all. We've always had really good comments. I'm sure we get, criticism sometimes, and sometimes very warranted, sometimes it's not. But I think it's kind of just be able to, meeting people. I've met people all over the country. I don't travel a ton, but through our videos and through our channel, it's really great to meet people and just, go out for drinks if we come to their town sometime. And it's just super fun. And so I've just been itching to get back and making more drinks and sharing it with you guys. So I'm gonna wrap it up here because you guys have busy lives. I have busy lives. It's going to be bedtime here. But thanks for watching, and I'm gonna try to do this like once a week, a live stream thing. So maybe I'll see if I can like set a more specific time, but we'll kind of have to play by ear as we sort of go down this route and explore it a bit. But until then, hopefully we'll tune in next week and we'll start making videos and publish them for you guys to comment on and watch. But in the meantime, thanks for watching and have a good weekend. Cheers, guys.
You messed up.
How did I mess up, man?
I think you accidentally